All right, it is 8 o'clock, and this is the City of Merrill Redevelopment Authority. It is Wednesday, May 7th, 2025, and we are in City Hall Council Chambers. Next item on the agenda is consider approving the minutes from the previous meeting, which was March 5th. Have a motion and a second to approve the meetings from March 5th. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have public comment. Any public comment? Any public comment? Hearing none, we'll move on to general agenda items for consideration. We have update regarding ongoing development projects. Rod?
Okay, we've been talking about our 2 acres out in front of the old Walmart for a couple of years now. The notice of letter of interest that was given to us by a group, it's a good 6 months plus ago, ran out on April 16th. We did give them until June 1st to finish up with their proposal. They said they need a little more time, so Steve and I decided to extend that to June 1st. I hope everybody's in agreement with that. Things are, I won't say looking good, but there's potential there. We're hoping that it comes through. As far as the housing opportunities, Webster Street, Swiderski should be finishing up with the landscaping here shortly to stabilize the site. And I think it's anticipated sometime towards the end of July of having the 220 units done on what would be their southeast side of their development. Spruce Street, Merrill Gravel is finishing up. Hopefully by the end of next week we'll have everything cleaned up out there and topsoiled. Seeded and mulched. Wendorf Construction has started 2 homes out there. They're moving right along on them. Ryan Ott on the south side of town on the Nicholas subdivision. Down on Delmore, he started another 2 homes down there. Well, I think he's got another one that he's going to start shortly. So moving along on the housing front. And then the 2 RFPs we will be talking about in closed session. The old Anson Gilkey site on the end of Kai Street and the old Merrillview Motel up on South Center Avenue. So that's where we are with projects. Any questions?
Okay, hearing no questions, we'll move on to update from Lincoln County Economic Development. Sarah, go.
Thank you, Mayor. So thank you. I'm here to do my quarterly report update to everyone. Just fill you in on kind of what we've been working on at the EDC and a little bit of what's in the queue ahead. So the first big one, as many of you, I think about half of this group was at our annual Economic Summit, which was back on April 8th. And so it went really well. We've had a lot of very positive feedback on that event that was up in Tomahawk. We did end up officially having 93 attendees, which was a really good turnout. We were aiming for 75, so we surpassed our goal. Always nice to see. Even better, of those 93, half of them represented businesses. So that is, of course, our target audience for an event like that. And it was a good range of different types of businesses. The remaining half was made up of government representatives, a lot of local government, but also some state and federal, and different nonprofits and other economic partners like the chambers. And then we also had a good representation from education. And so it was a good variety. And more importantly for me, is not so much what happens that day, but what that day generates from it. And I have heard from multiple people who were at the event who said that they made connections and gained information that they were going to be following up with additional conversations with people about resources, about opportunities. And I think that is really what makes me proud to know that we pulled off something that's going to have a ripple effect of future, hopefully, development. So, and now we're already starting to look ahead to next year. We got a couple of suggestions, both during our feedback survey and from just various conversations that is leading me to look at possibly focusing on entrepreneur support as the theme for 2026, which I think would be really great because we're going to be back in Merrill for the 2026 event. And this could be a way to really kind of support that rural entrepreneurial venture program that we are actively engaged in, the REV program. We're going to have a lot of things happening with that yet this summer. So I know we're in the process of doing some assessments of who we have currently in the entrepreneurial realm here. This summer we're going to be reaching out to a few of those individuals and trying to get some input on the different amenities and resources that could be of value, and starting to get a sense of where we need to focus our energies on building up the entrepreneurial assets in this region. And for myself, the primary focus is, of course, Merrill, but I am hoping to replicate a lot of that information so that the entire county can benefit from the knowledge that we gain from this. So we've got a lot of great stuff happening with REV. Beyond that, I also went to 2 different advocacy events down in Madison in the past month. The first one was with the Wisconsin Economic Development Association, WEDA. And then a week and a half later, I went back down with Centergy, which is our regional EDO, Economic Development Organization. And there were a number of topics that we talked about, and the one that I think this group may be most interested in knowing is that there's some very strong advocacy going on for TIF, kind of trying to do some TIF modernization is the term. And so we were down there asking them to consider increasing the cap on TIF from the current 12% valuation cap up to, our ask has been 18%. Rumor has it that there may be an option or the potential to at least get it increased to 16%, because a lot of the smaller communities are running into that cap limit, and when TIF is really the only incentive, so to speak, that smaller communities have, that's becoming very problematic. So that is part of the conversation there. They're also asking the state to consider exempting developer-financed TIFs and TIDs. So if it's a developer-financed one, that would not count towards your valuation cap. So that is another angle that could possibly be coming through. And then finally, they are looking at the fact that, as you just heard from Rod's update, housing is such a huge part of development. And right now, you can have that 1-year extension on a closing of a TID to use towards residential development. They are asking if that can be increased to 3 years, because 1 year seems to be a little tight, especially with the turnover you see on local governments. Often they don't even find out that that's an option until it's the deadline or beyond. So there may be the potential for some additional housing opportunities through TID. So those are some of the conversations that are happening from the economic development front that I wanted to make sure you were aware of. The other topics that we were advocating on had more to do with changes to low-income housing tax programs, making sure that our educational, i.e. workforce systems, continue to be funded. And there was some conversations about helping to support repairs for the Rothschild Dam as well. But the TIF one was the topic that was the primary at both WEDA and Centergy. So in addition to the things that we've kind of been doing, I just wanted to make you aware of 2 upcoming things. First, our board asked me to put together in the next month some informational sessions so that businesses and community partners who would like to learn more about just what the EDC is, what it does, and how we partner with the chambers and local governments and others in this community can come in and just have a quick 1-hour coffee chat. And I did confirm just yesterday that we are going to be doing one in Tomahawk on May 22nd up at the Park City there at 8 a.m. And then we're going to have one in Merrill on June 9th, Monday, at Park City, who is helping to sponsor that. So you should be seeing information coming out about that by the end of this week. But if you are interested in coming in and hearing a little bit more about what we have going on and how potentially you and the community could support our efforts, we invite you to join us for that hour for some coffee and muffins and conversation. So, and then finally, the last thing I just wanted to mention is that the first week of June, I will be out of the office attending the WIDA Basic Economic Development Training Program, which is something that all new economic development directors are encouraged to attend. And I'm going because this is part of kind of the kickoff of our organization's desire to, by the end of this year, have a robust technical assistance program happening where businesses, both current and potential, can contact us. And I will have the training and the information needed to sit down and do one-on-one assistance, which is something that we want to be able to offer, and is something that we've talked with the chambers and others. They would like to see us partner with them on. So those are some of the things that we've got going on there. That is my quarterly report. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to take them now or after the meeting. All right.
Hearing none. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Sarah. Appreciate it. Next, we have date and time of the next meeting, which would be Wednesday, June 4th at 8 a.m. And then we'll have the closed session. The Redevelopment Authority may convene into closed session per Wisconsin State Statute, Section 19.85, Sub 1, Sub E, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed sessions to consider negotiating a potential sales term for city-owned vacant land to facilitate a new commercial development, TID 9 at 703 South Center Avenue, negotiate a potential sale for city-owned vacant land to facilitate a new commercial development, TID 9 401 Kai Street, South Kai Street, and consider TID incentive requests to facilitate commercial redevelopment, TID 9 at 714 Martin Street. At this point, I'll entertain a motion to go into closed session.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to go into closed session. Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Clyde, did you second or did Tony? You, okay. Let's see. All right, Mayor Haas,
Aye.
Ms. Verbenek,
Aye.
Mr. Kusero,
Aye.
Mr. Bars,
Aye.
Mr. Koblitz,
Aye.
Mr. Hartwig,
Aye.
Mr. Nelson.
Aye.
All right.
All right, we'll go into closed session.